Everybody, Cashflow Kris here, taking on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Cashflow Kris here at
What's up, everybody? Cashflow Kris with Investors Edge Real Estate Group here. All right, Leveling Up family, we have a guest today. I know most of you guys are going to be watching this on a replay, so still drop your questions below, and we'll review them with Elijah. Eventually, we're going to definitely have this on a bigger platform because I know you're going to have an amazing amount of information to share with people. So why don't you give a quick little intro, tell them who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, well, this your guy, Elijan Rubin. Shout out to Kris, giving your boy an opportunity to share with all you guys. I've been doing real estate for the last 15 years. I'm 50% Trinidadian. I'm 50% Jewish. I'm 100% entrepreneur, born closer. I probably easy bought and sold over 750 properties, over $250 million worth of real estate transactions. I'm nobody's guru. However, I have a lot of real life experience, so I feel obligated to share my real life experience with some of you out there so you don't have to go through the same pitfalls, the same hurdles I went through. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I stumbled into stumbled into the unbelievable niche of buying fire damage properties. So I specialize in fire damage properties, probate deals, and branded as the Fire Damage King. The Fire Damage course is on the way, so it's not ready just yet, but it's on its way. But yeah, I'm big on added value to others. I'm big on mindset mastery. And like anytime you get an opportunity to connect with one of the greats, you make sure you take the time.
Oh, shit. Yeah, right, man. We came up together. So I've known Elijah for a very long time, probably at least 10 years,
yeah,
right?
Easily now, yeah.
And so you've been doing deals for a long time as well, you know. So I've been watching you do deals. We were in different entrepreneur groups together. Yeah. That was invaluable. Mm-hmm. We were for a short time in an investing group together. Yeah. So I know a lot about you. I know your background, and I know what it takes to get from where you started to where we are now. Mm-hmm. So why don't you? So I want to talk a little bit about sales today. Okay. Because you're one of the best sales guys that I know. Thank you. I mean, that little intro that you did, I've heard that 10,000 times, and it comes naturally. And I think that's what so many people struggle with. Mm-hmm. Is it sounds made up,
scripted,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just talking to somebody, they're trying to read a script. They're trying to do this instead of just having a natural flow. So yeah, I definitely want to talk about sales today. And then after that, I want to get into some entrepreneurship because I know you're big with that. Mm-hmm. All about the structure, you read all the books. Mm-hmm. You have mentors like ET. Yeah. You know a lot of great people. So just want to dig a little bit into entrepreneurship. Our group is actually 100% entrepreneurs, nice. Small business owners. A majority are in real estate. Mm-hmm. Probably 90% are in real estate. And so, everybody's actually having a pretty good year.
Nice.
But we could always be doing better. Sure. And we need to prepare for when things slow down.
You've been there. Mm-hmm.
First of all, I would like to maybe get started a little bit off topic, but sure. You talked about Fire Damage King, right? Uh-huh. So if you looked at your number of deals, fire damage probably isn't, if you categorize everything, fire damage mm-hmm. isn't going to be one of them. Mm-hmm. Now there's not as many of those deals out there, right? But every time someone says I got a fire damage deal, like out there on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, right? You branded yourself as the Fire Damage King.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You did that several years ago, and it's still, even though you never really, that course never came.
Right. I never put it out. Mm-hmm.
The branding has always gotten you leads that I've seen. Why don't you talk about that?
Sure. And shout out to Kris. Like he's a go-giver. Like I said, he lets people know what you do, and the opportunity, he tags me on Instagram, on Facebook. So appreciate what you do as well out there. But yeah, just by putting yourself out there, what did Jeff Fagan always say? If you can, what we think about, we bring about, right? What we focus on expands. And so I just knew that most people don't know how to operate around fire damage deals. They're missing out on thousands of dollars because they're overlooking these opportunities, and they don't know who to send them to, let alone how to convert them themselves. So I've been wanting to put the course together for many years, but people just keep asking me, like, I get to it, just never put it out there. So because I didn't have a course, people refer them to me and like, hey, if you have a fire damage deal, you need to contact Elijah. I did several interviews. I had an ebook created not for teaching you how to do fire damage deals, but more how to talk to the homeowner. You know, and so that alone, I probably easily do $100,000 a year just off of the pure referrals, no marketing, $100,000 a year just off of fire damage referrals.
And guys, a lot of that is explaining the process. Here's how it works, because what that does is they're like, shit, I don't want to do this. This is hard. I can't figure this out. Let me just give it to Elijah because he does it. And now I've done lots of fire damage, but I don't do what you do. You're in the middle. You're negotiating. You're working with the insurance company. You're doing really the dirty work. I'm just taking it from you, fixing it up and selling it. That's like kind of the easy part, right? So why don't you talk about kind of the things, like how do you add value on a fire damage deal?
Sure. And so I just try to, like I mentioned, add value first. The more value you add, the more you position yourself as not just an investor with cash, there's a million of those guys out there, but you want to shift yourself to becoming a trusted advisor. And if you can become a trusted advisor, these people are going to appreciate you, value you, and when the next cash investor comes over, they're going to want to deal with you over them. So some of the things I do up front are, like I said, I want to make sure I'm adding value first. I want to know what exactly do they need. Let them know that we're an asset protection company. We want you to save your asset. We want you to keep your house. So I'm not approaching them, hey, I want to buy your house. I buy houses in this area. Me and my wife buying a house. No, we're not doing that.
These people are experiencing one of the worst times of their lives. You know, it's not like somebody died, but maybe somebody did.
A bird died and lost all their heirlooms.
But it's as close to somebody dying is you're losing everything.
Yep.
And so you're not some guy just coming in, oh, let me just take
it's my inherited home.
You know?
No, they're standing out front in their robe when they lost everything. So if you work from that ability to empathize with them, let them know like, hey, I really understand where you're coming from. I know what happened. And more importantly, what do you need? Do you need temporary housing? Do you need temporary clothing? Do you need your animals to be put in a shelter? Do you need a trauma support group to be a part of? I mean, this is very tough stuff. And so because I'm finding out what do they need and eager to add attitude of servitude, I'm looking to serve them first because they feel the sincerity and I really have the relationships for them. Let me know, I need to have temporary housing. My insurance company's not getting back with me. The contractor's starting to charge me. The fencing guys just sent me a bill. The board of guys just sent me a bill. They don't know what to do with this stuff. They don't know how to operate this. I mean, just think if you're a single lady with 3 kids. I mean, you got school tomorrow. The world doesn't stop because a fire happened. So when they see like, wow, this guy is knowledgeable, he's helpful, and he can help run point for a lot of these people, and I'm going to show them who's what's going to happen next. I remove a lot of the stress out of the picture for them. Then I let them know after I do that, now they're more inclined to hear me out. Then I let them know about how the insurance company works. The insurance company doesn't work for the homeowner. They work for the stockholder. So true. And so because of that, the fiduciary's responsibility to make sure that they make money over on that side, not on our side, unfortunately. So what ends up happening is that these sellers end up just taking whatever the insurance company gets them. I know I could go back in there, renegotiate their insurance claim, get them 50% more money than they initially were even offered a lot of the times.
That's crazy. Hold on. Before you go any further on that point, let's back up just a hair. So he's adding value by helping them with what they perceive are their problems, right? So he's helping them with all the emotional side of it, finding a place to live, all the little things, the emotional things. But then he knows the back end, the stuff that he really needs to help them with, which is negotiating with the insurance company, dealing with contractors, all the big things that most people, they don't want to even get close to dealing with, right? So there's 2 factors. What do they think they need help with, and which they do, but then what's the real things? Because like you said, these insurance companies, they want to get that signed right away because they're going to lowball, right?
Yeah, and because the insurance company's going to lowball and they want to just give them whatever the minimal amount they can possibly give them, and because they're going to give them such a minimum amount, they don't know who to talk to, who to believe it's going to be possible for them. And I think that's one of the key pieces, that just because you're offered a number doesn't mean that's a number you have to take. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions of this, that 80% of the time they're only getting 80% of the money. And because of the fact that they don't work for the policyholder, they work for the stockholder, and the number they gave you isn't the number you have to accept.
And that number, even though it's a small number relative to what it should be, is usually a big number.
Yeah.
Right? So you got this guy who's never received more than a $10,000
in his
check,
life,
and they have 110, right? But you could get them 250.
Right.
And they not even you can get them.
Right.
They deserve
Right.
$250.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it's not what we deserve. It's what your contract says.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a purchase. It's a contract. And then I'm holding you to the terms of your contract. Just most people don't know a house might be appraised for $100,000, but the cost to build approach might be $150,000. They don't know how to use that cost to build approach within that factors into renegotiating a higher amount, and what they don't know could cost them tremendously. And so that's why I'm able to let them know, like, hey, by the way, I believe there's some money that's being owed to you. Let's do a forensic audit of your policy. Let's look and see what's out there. Once we're able to find out, hey, you're owed another $50,000, you're gonna keep 100% of what they offered you. You're gonna get 50% of any new money we find for you. And like I said, and if we don't find an extra dime, you don't pay us a penny for our time.
So they offered me $115,000, and I was ready to sign it. Elijah comes and says, "Hey, let me bring my experts, because I'm sure you have a team,
Yeah.
because you can't do everything yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to charge you, but we're going to charge you half of whatever we get you."
Yep. And so
who's going to say no to that?
It's free money to them. It's free money to them. And then, so what I saw in this niche, not only can I help them buy the fire, now can I help them buy another property potentially. I could refer them to a investor-friendly realtor like yourself, like Chris, or as one of our relationships, help find another property, solve problems. I could buy their property and as this condition, solve problems. I could get them additional insurance money than they initially thought was even owed to them, solve problems. So that's 3 to 4 different ways I can help them. Outside of just, hey, I'll pay you cash for your house.
Exactly.
Everybody else.
It's actually caring about the people in their situation, because again, this is one of the worst circumstances of their life. So helping them through that, that's huge.
It's an ultimate sincere win-win. I get to be the David versus Goliath. I get to really help out homeowners. I really get them to make more money on the property. I get to help them not only survive a house fire, but thrive years after the house fire. And because I'm helping them with this, if they ever have another family member that experienced something like this or need to sell, I'm the trusted advisor. I still get Christmas cards to this day from past clients because I went above and beyond well more than the average person will ever do for them.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to go through your customer service later on in this, because it's bar none. I mean, literally, you guys, we have letters all down the hallway of sellers thanking him for taking this off their hands, right? For him going out and making money. So many wholesalers, they feel like they're doing something wrong, like they're doing something dirty, and you take the completely opposite approach.
Yeah.
Mindset,
and it's like mindset, and you have to understand your value. Once you really understand the mindset of, hey, you're gonna have something of value. If I had a broken car and you fixed my car and now I'm able to go to work, you provide value. Yes, you had to charge for your time, but then you made my life better, so I'm gonna have to Google and get a wrench and try to figure out how to fix it. Same thing for what we do. And once you have value for what you do and you see the value and the impact it has on people's lives, you too start requesting testimonial letters, and you too can have your, what we call it, the wall of fame, so that these are my famous people. These are the people I respect who trust me to deliver for them. So when a homeowner asks, why should I do business with you? I'm not going to tell you why you should do business with me. I'll let them tell you why you should do business with me. And then you can ask yourself, do you deserve the same results?
Oh,
closing.
It just flows.
Closing.
So I want to just put a pin in this fire damage. So guys, think about this. You got to think outside of the box. Don't be the, hey, let me just give you $100,000 for your house and you're good. Think about what you can do for these people. So I would say one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do when they get in this situation is they rebuild the house.
Yep.
They throw all this money into a house that's not really worth all of that, where you can show them, hey, you were going to walk with this. Now we're going to walk with this. I'm going to get you an extra chunk of money, but also let's take the emotion out of this. Yeah. It's not your home anymore. It's a house.
It's now,
right? Where else would you live? Let's imagine we had to tear it down, right? Where else would you live? Because you could throw all this money back into this house that you have all the sentimental emotion for, or you could sell the shell and take the money. Yeah. And now you got all this money and you could do this and this and this. And so a lot of those people, they don't even think about that. It's their home.
Yeah. And that's all they know.
Rebuild.
And that's what they think. The insurance company tells them, hey, well, you're going to get, you don't get this back insurance money. It's called depreciation. You don't get that back check unless you rebuild your house. Well, I guess I can't leave that money on the table. I got to rebuild my house. But I let them know, like, hey, not only I can help you find another property. So Like you said, getting them mentally detached from the house.
Yeah.
All right. So if you didn't live here, where would you want to live? How big of a house would that be? How would that life feel? If you didn't have to wait 6 to 9 months to rebuild this house, how fast do you want to get to the next chapter of your life? Okay, if you were to do that, how much cash would you need? Okay, how much insurance company did they give you? Okay, or here's the cash I paid for that shell. Okay, that check you're about to walk away from, well, sign it over to me. When I rebuild the property, I'll go ahead and give you 10% of that back end check that you're going to walk away from. So you get all the insurance money, you get the additional insurance money I found you, and I'm going to give you a piece of that depreciation check 5 to 6 months, so you don't feel like you walk away from it at all. But more importantly, you're not waiting 9 months to get moved back in your house. You're starting back into the next chapter of your life within 2 months, 3 months, and that peace of mind is always going to be more important than the dollar amount I get.
We've partnered with people on that back end depreciation money, and it is awesome. It's free money, guys. You're gonna fix it up anyways, and that's another reason, or that's another example of how the insurance company totally screws these people over.
100%.
So awesome, I love it. Fire damage.
Yes.
Hey, pamphlet coming 2020.
Yes, we got the fire damage course, a little bigger than the pamphlet, but we got to come in like Ashley, because I'm going to be speaking in Vegas. Next month. So I give myself a deadline to have it done. So no more BSing, no more delaying. The fire damage course is coming. Make sure you reach out to your guy, Elijah I. I'll get the pre-order set up for the family.
It's a great niche, you know. When I was speaking at wholesaling, we talked about being different. You know, go do what other people aren't willing to do. That's why I would buy these fire damage from you, because who the hell wants to do fire damage? It's scary, it's dark, it's burning. I mean, it's not. It's an onion, man. Just peel it back and then put it back together.
Yep. It all has a number. Everything has a number. Think outside the box. And like I said, you want to be a big fish in a small pond. I mean, you're able to learn how to get through. You see, you could get almost up to 4 checks on one opportunity. Help grow people, pursue opportunities that nobody else is going after. You make more profits versus because less competition. And it's an alternative for those who don't want to scale up. If you don't want to scale up, hey, scaling up is not for everybody. Now we have the budget or the skill set for that. This gives you the opportunity to niche down in a niche market with a specific niche strategy.
I love it. Sales. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So tell us where you teach sales.
Yep.
Where do you teach sales?
So I do these tactical Thursday calls. You could go to Elijan Rubin, my public page, or you could text Elijah to 59224. Text Elijah to 59224, and you'll get a link that's sent to you, and you can go to the Consistent Closing group. And this is just my way of giving back. Tactical Thursdays, I go over about an hour on Thursday, and we do role playing. We go over sales mastery. We do some mindset mastery. We really understand the more you role play, the more your role pays. Right? And so the more you don't practice the baseball, when you're playing baseball, what do you do in the batter box? You warm up. All right, before you start the game in NBA, you warm up, you get to shoot around. But for some reason, when we get in sales, we're just gonna hop in there. I got all the negative ideas and baggage I have with me when I started my morning, and I got in here. I haven't got any deals closed, so I'm bringing that negative emotion, negative thoughts, and I'm just throwing up on the client.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
So you put yourself in a position to know that you're able to do more with more.
So what are some of the ways you warm up? How do you warm up your team?
So what we do, we're really big on role playing. So before you hop on, we're really big on doing role playing. Like I said, go around and kind of just make sure there's a specific skill, way we do it, this ABC technique. So everybody has a chance to be, so one person gets to be the actual homeowner, one person gets to be the sales rep, and then the third person, C, gets to be the scribe. A person who's a scribe, they're going to get the most value out of the role-playing session because they're writing down what was done good, what was done, areas to improve, not bad, areas to improve, and then, most importantly, what are some of the best practices? Those best practices, that list should keep growing the more you do this. And the more best practices, the more, that's a good objection, that's a good rebuttal you use. That list grows, and then you get more confident with it. And
Is
then
that kind of use this, not that type?
Yeah, you can use this, not that. Hey, this should go first before that. Or, hey, you know what? We shouldn't say that anymore. We should start saying this now. Or, hey, that's just a really good one-liner. So now you're creating a collection of all these best practices. And then after everybody goes, and everybody switches. And one person is now the next person is going to be the role, they're going to be a scribe. One person is the homeowner. One person is going to be the sales rep, and everybody gets a chance to do each role. And so everybody has a chance to really be the scribe, really observe, as well as doing the do. And that list should keep growing. And the more you do that, that brings tremendous value. And then the other thing that we do, and just really, I'm telling you, it's easy to do. It's even easier not to do. Do pre-call affirmations. I'm really big on affirmations, period. But before you get on the phone, I created a special pre-call affirmation just for people to get on the phones, remind yourself who you are, what value you have, what needs to happen regardless if they're into you or not, and what your divine purpose is to be on that call.
I love it. You gonna share that with our group?
Yeah, absolutely. You text the 59224. You absolutely get it.
I did.
Has it came to you yet? All right. So
59224, right?
Yeah. So give it about 4 or 5 minutes. If it's not Apple, it's not Apple. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll make sure. And if it doesn't come to you, I'll make sure I send it to you. It's so good to do. And as you do that over the course of time, it's gonna pay dividends for you.
All right. So you guys are practicing. You're getting your scripts. Who are you calling?
Okay.
What's your conversation like?
So right now, so we're really big on doing a lot of text messaging. So we're calling motivated sellers right now. We're doing a lot of absentee. A good list that we're hitting right now is absentee seniors, low FICOs with a 30% or more equity.
How the hell do you pull that list?
Reach out to my guy Eric Torrente. He's a list master.
Okay.
Eric Torrente. He's a list master, and what's the best thing about him? The whole country uses this guy. So he's super cool. He's letting me know what other people are, what's hitting. He's like, bro, you got to do this one. And we just got the Spanish sellers. Spanish sellers list. We got 3,500. I'm the only one in my office.
So untapped.
Yeah, I'm the only one in my office who does speak Spanish. All right, so untapped. A lot of people don't know how to operate with them. And those ones, a lot of times, if you can't turn them to sell, they are good buyers. They'll be buyers or they have cousins and family because they're not checking emails. They do text message and phone calls. That's the only way you can really reach that segment of the market. So Spanish sellers we're going heavy after. Absentee seniors, low FICO, 30% plus equity has been working really well for us.
Guys, think about that. Think about that he just broke down. That is so specific, but they're going to be so much. Like if you're sending to the same group but not and high FICO, think about that. Think about if you send to people with 700 score or better, they don't need you.
Right.
They're not in distress. So they're older, so they have equity. They have a low FICO, so they're not doing. They probably need some cash in their lives, and so they have an asset. They need money. Boom. Right. I mean, you're gonna get such a better response from those types of people instead of, why are you calling me?
Right.
I'm rich and I don't owe anything. And I'm like, why are you calling me? Right. You gotta, and for me, that's a waste of time.
Yeah, it is.
So tell us about a little bit more of the technology that you're using to,
okay.
Are you guys trying to receive more inbound calls?
Yeah. So right now we had 6 cold callers and the Philippine cold callers. We're making phone calls and
that's brutal. That's got to be a 0.00 return, right?
Yeah. After I looked at my numbers, once we got through the numbers, it ended up being a waste of time.
You're pissing people off.
You're pissing people off. One thing that I believe a lot of people who starting out don't really calculate in their numbers is the cost of having your pipeline filled with wood. You're having to go through. I mean, we're listening to some of the calls. I mean, they're like, well, what give you an offer so good that you would want to sell today? No, I'm not. That's not a motivated seller.
That's like the opposite.
Exactly. Opposite motivation. You're selling them on opposite motivation. So yeah, no, that's not a lead. And we keep telling them that, and because they get paid if they submit seller finance
they want to send you. They want a yes. They're forcing a yes, and it's not a yes.
Your property, Zillow says it's worth $258,000. Would you like to offer? So they think the offer is $258,000. No, and they great, yeah, sure. We send it. Like no. And so you have to do quality control on that. Then you have to listen to the calls. That's more time you're paying your people. Then you're creating MAOs, a maximum offer allowable offers on a lot of these. So that's more time comping wood, listening to wood, shifting through all the shit to get it out so you can get to that one qualified lead. We're getting the industry average is supposed to be 100 leads to get one qualified deal. We're like almost at 400 leads. Wow. So it's really clogging our system.
And I don't care where you're at. It still costs money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're paying your VAs $5 or a slick collar in America, 50. Like you got to account for that money. Just because you're paying someone low money, it doesn't mean you should expect low results.
Exactly.
Right.
And to the expectation, look at the numbers. And because I wasn't looking at the numbers, because it was hard for me to calculate my numbers, it cost me. And so until I started looking at the numbers, and then with Jenny, shout out to Jenny, she helped in getting my numbers dialed in. She helped like really systemizing things like, all right, Elijah, she created this flipped out marketing calculator. And so she just created some ridiculous spreadsheet, like where she's able to break it down. And she's like, all right, Elijah, for every lead, we're spending this much just to get the lead. It cost me like $28 per lead. That's not a lead that converted. That's just a lead, a wood lead that's sitting in there. So I'm like, after seeing this number, I'm like, all right, screw that. We fired all the cold callers. We fired the cold callers. We have my acquisition manager, shout out to Serge, knocking out a super humble, super integrity-filled grinder. At the same time, nobody has to tell him what to do. Nobody has to tell him, hey, how hard to work. Nobody has to say, hey, you got back for lunch. He's self-started, self-initiative, and he asks for help. And it's hard to get both those two. Both people self-initiative. I'll do it myself. I don't need any help. It's like, Elijah, I need some support on this. Hey, I don't know this number here. So very good balance. So we have the quality people here. So now I want to get, so what we decided to do instead of just buy massive lists, buy data, blast out to everybody. Yeah, you could do that if you have unlimited dollars. Well, I'm half Jewish. I ain't trying to spend that dollar. I want to be more efficient with the dollar. I want to dreidel the dollar. So what we ended up doing is we started getting niche down lists. Instead of buying a bunch of generic lists, we decided, hey, we're going to spend more money on lists. We're going to spend more money on what you saw with multiple pain points. Mm-hmm. And that's really key to really think about multiple pain points. Do they live out of state? That's one pain point. Are they seniors? That could be a pain point. Are they tax default? That'd be a pain point. Are they divorce pain point? So we're going to buy these different pain point lists, and then we throw them through a list stacker. And they stack all the lists together, and they see in each of those lists is Mary Beth in each of these lists. And Mary Beth is in all 4 of these lists. We know that one Mary Beth is a divorce, absentee owner, back taxes, and she has a city violation.
Making some bad decisions in life.
Bad decisions in life, but I want to have a conversation with her before I talk to all these other 50 people who are just maybe have one pain point.
Yeah, instead of grandma and grandpa over here who they don't want to move. They're not going to sell. Like, why are you calling me?
Are you talking? You're wasting time.
I love it. It's great.
Right. And so by doing so now, so one part was getting really niche down on the list, being clear within this.
Okay.
The next part we really
value. If you let's just say you were paying 10 cents for a name, just to throw a number out there, you're paying $1 for a name. How much are you paying? $4 for these other names? So are you paying 4 times as much, twice as much?
So usually you're gonna pay roughly about anywhere from 25 cents to 30 cents per record. All right, so it's not the cheapest thing, but
instead of
your
like if I just do absentee owner generic, what's that gonna cost me?
Yeah, you're gonna pay maybe 8 to 12 cents maybe. Okay. So it's not cheaper, but you're wasting time with someone who doesn't want to talk, because although you paid 8 to 12 cents for the record, you still got to skip trace it.
Yeah, and for those people who are doing mailers especially, like that's
really wasting money now.
Yeah, that's like what? We're at about $1.06.
And that's with your price. That's your price.
Yeah, I got wifey doing it.
Right, wow. That's sweatshop labor, right? Yeah, somebody else doing it. It's $1.25, $1.50 on top of buying the record, on top of skip tracing the record, so you have the right mailing address. You can easily be $2 for someone who never going to sell it this decade.
Yeah.
So you're wasting time. And
then there's the people who don't check their list. They get the return mail and they don't go take that. You're sending the same letter to the same person who doesn't even live there.
Drip marketing to the wrong people.
It's lazy, is what it is. And it's lazy, but I think it's something that you and I have a hard time with not because we're lazy, because we're lazy on that. Right. We're off here. We're doing our fucking thing, and all the stuff in the background just goes to shit, which is why Jen completely changed your business.
Absolutely.
Because she's the organization behind it.
No, and it's a big part I understood. So not only having something with organization, it's super imperative to have, because you want to work smarter and harder, not just smarter. All right. And so what she allows us to do, we got clear. So what we did, most people, entrepreneurs specifically, we do the action. We're really big on just take action, just do it, which most people won't even do that. All right. Most people won't even take action. But once you get to a certain level, take action. And when you take action, you see the evidence that, hey, this worked, I can move the needle. But however, it's really fool's gold, because what happens is you take action, you just get used to doing like we were doing. Mm-hmm. And then you spend very little time on strategy. Mm-hmm. And because you spend a little time on strategy, you're chasing your tail and you think you're going a long way, but you're really not going too far. And then after your day, you got your strategy. You see even less time on vision. What do I want to do? You decided about a couple of years ago, you got clear on your vision. You made a different strategy. Now your actions today are totally different what you were doing 3 years ago. Most people don't do that for like a decade into business. You made it pivot early. So that's what we did. We got the vision like, you know what? I don't want to be doing another 750 deals. All right. I want to do fewer deals for bigger dollars, or I can do more speaking. I can more do consulting, impact, more mastermind, do things I love to do. So how am I going to do that? Well, we changed our strategy. So look at our strategy. So instead of us, let's organize what list we're going after. Let's look at the cost it's costing us. Look at what the highest yield that return we can get. And let's look at where are our biggest avatars at. Who's going to relate with us? Who trusts us right off the bat? Who connects with us directly? Well, some people in the rougher areas will connect with me. Some people in the Spanish community will connect with Jen. Now we're going to a low-hanging fruit that a lot of people aren't going after. And now our actions are clear. So now after we did that strategy session and being very clear, like, hey, this is the vision, this is our strategy. Now we retooled our actions. Now we understand, yes, I could have a bunch of cold callers making calls, or you can send a bunch of mailers, but what do you do when you send the mailers? At the end of the day, I want to see out of all these people who is interested to talk to me. Well, you send out a text message, they're going to say if they're interested right there. Yeah, I'll take an offer. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, these are my numbers. So that allows us to say, hey, here's a lead, here's an opportunity. Let's talk to those people for a fraction of the cost.
And everybody, like, I believe SMS open rate is like 99%. And I'm sure it'll be changing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll start dropping as we're all starting to get ads and shit.
It's getting crazy.
But they're at least going to see it. They might ignore it, but they're going to see it. I send a lot of letters. I'm sure a lot of them go right into the mail. They're right into the trash, right? They don't even open it. They don't even see it. So that's the new strategy, but you're always going to have to adapt.
Right.
Because
it's just going to go away.
Like, you know, all the guys in town who are doing the SMS
2.5
stuff.
2.5 million texts a month.
Real estate investors are going to destroy it for everybody.
For sure.
Because people are getting spammed like crazy. They got all these guys out here doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that. My cousin is a great example. My cousin, I helped him sell he bought a house from my uncle. So completely off the books, not on MLS or anything. He gets a text, a call every day. And he didn't even know how they got it.
How'd you get my number?
He gets so pissed. He like cusses these guys out every single day. And enough of those guys, and it's all going to get shut down.
It's coming. So you have to understand, you have to make the adjustment, but you have to be strategic. So you might move back to mailers. But the key, you might have to go back to cold calling, but the whole idea is to be strategic. If you're going to cold callers, if you are going to do the mailers, do the multiple pain points. Go after the niche list. Go after the generic list. Look at your multiple pain points. Door knock on the multiple pain points. These are the type of things when you do a little bit more strategy, once you get clear with where you want to go. How do you want your life to be? Understand you always have to make the adjustment with the strategies. Right now, SMS is working really good. That's how I got that PV deal. That's all. Like today, like yesterday, we just got this one seller. I mean, there's certain things we do in our sales techniques where I'm doing response checks to find out, are they following where I'm going? Like, you got a pen and paper, grab a pen and paper for me. They grab a pen and paper, they're following response checks. Well, I think I'm just going to write my name and number down. Well, you can write my name and number down, but then underneath that, write down the ARV, write down the price.
Guys, this is a negotiating strategy.
All right.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
So I give you guys a little technique I like to use, all right? So you want them to follow your lead, all right? So if they're willing to follow the lead, you want to get what's called micro confirmations, right? Mini agreements. So, hey, it's going to take about we're spending millions of dollars buying a lot of properties in your neighborhood, Mr. Seller. It's going to take maybe about 3 to 7 minutes to kind of ask you the right question, make sure your property is the right fit for me. You have a couple minutes to go through that with me? If they say yes, now they know that, yes, I'm able to, now they just agreed to take the time and the frame that I gave it to them. Because I said we're spending millions of dollars, they understand I'm not wasting time. I'm here to be on a phone call. And if they say no, I'm flushing out a bad person right off the gate, right off the bat. I don't want to talk to people who don't want to talk to me. Well, no, I don't have time for that. Just what you're offering, sir. Sir, when you bought your car, did you want them to say, hey, what car are you going to take? Give me your car? No. You want to make sure you picked out the right car. Hopefully you afford me the same time that you wanted when you bought your car. This is so this is what I'm telling you. These are word for words and things I'm telling you that works. I'm all talking to the blue mic. Sorry, guys, over here.
No, I love it. So getting them to engage is important. Getting them to write down. Then that puts you as the authority, right?
Not only that puts me as authority, but I'm setting the framework. I'm setting a framework. Hey, I'm going to ask for this. This is not my first rodeo. This is my process. If it's not your house, it's cool. I'll buy your neighbor's house. I don't know who I'm giving the cash to. And I don't know if your house qualifies for me.
Yes.
Versus, please, I just want one more house, please. I just want to sell. I have an offer. I give you an offer right now. No. Hold on a second. If you're too rushed, hey, I got it. I don't need your house. You don't need to sell. You and I both know you don't need to sell. So let's just get that out the way. I'd say I take the bullet out of the gun.
I love it.
That's what you're able to do. So back to the example. So once we get there, we get past the rapport buildings, and we're about to get into the price. I don't get my price off the bat. I want them to know, hey, you find out about the repairs. You find out what's going on there. You want to make sure, hey, if I sent an appraiser over to your house today, what do you think the house would be worth? And so they tell you, oh, it would be worth this amount or worth that, or I don't know what it'd be worth. They don't know what it would be worth. Okay. Well, it looks like you're current on your taxes, right? Yeah, I'm current on my tax. Well, your tax looks like it's around $224,000. Does that sound about right?
Step.
See, and if they say no, $224,000, that's way too low. Well, hey, I thought you didn't know I thought you would value your house. You know that's too low, right? Well, you and I both know the tax values is always lower than the market value. So I think it's worth a little bit more than that. I just want to make sure you see that's like the rock bottom. Is that safe to say? I didn't come up with that. That's what the city assessed it. Does that make sense?
And now you have a number on the table. It's out there. It may be way off what you want and what he wants, but there is a number out there, and so you know if you're in the same.
Yeah, and you just price anchor them down to what's the worst case scenario, the lower case scenario. Then, so you got to go ahead.
How do you get the truth out of them about repairs needed?
So, good technique here. All right. So, what are we talking about? So, tell me about the process. So, tell me what type of repairs did the property need? Doesn't need much. Okay. Well, tell me, what would you rate the roof? 1 to 10. Oh, it's a 9. AC 8. Okay. All right. So the repairs. Okay. So I like the property in pretty good condition. All right. What type of upgrades would you do to the property since you bought it the last 5 years? What type of upgrades? Most homeowners don't discern the difference between repairs and upgrades. It doesn't need any repairs. Okay, but definitely needs upgrades. Okay, so
got the avocado oven, right?
Exactly. So what I do on this technique is shout to Jason. I on my Tactical Thursday calls, I'm taking this technique. I use it to this day. And that's what I like. That's why you want to be on the Tactical Thursday calls, because we're all sharing techniques with each other. So what ends up happening is I tell them, okay, so you haven't done any upgrades to the kitchen or bathroom or anything. Okay, but it needs no repairs. You look like you took care of your property. So let's say if I was to get you a $30,000 Home Depot credit card, where would you spend the money first? What would you do with it first? Oh, I'll fix the countertops. I'll put cabinets in there. Oh, I always want to put track lighting. I'll put a backsplash in the bathroom. Guess what they're doing right now? They just spent the money. So they just locked themselves into that $30,000 number.
It needs at least 30. We know that.
I'm going to do what you did to it. You said do the countertops, right? Well, I'm going to do the countertops. You said at least do about 30. I might get away with 25 because I got more people than you do. But let's just using your number. You know, I set the number. They spent the money. Now that's our new number. So
love it.
That's a little subtle technique to lock in if not repairs, we're going to upgrades, and now I got to bring that into my numbers. And so, go ahead.
Let's talk about numbers.
All right.
How do you come up? Do you have a rule of thumb? And then how much renegotiating do you have to do when you do kind of lock these guys in?
Okay. So I usually ask them, hey, so if we end up paying cash, will be a bottom line price you're willing to accept? Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, you called me with the offer. You said you had an offer. Okay.
Right. And that's almost everybody's going to say that, right?
Especially right now, because everybody's getting hit up right now. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I want to make sure you see where I'm coming from. I'm not just pulling numbers out of thin air. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you sell your property for. All that matters is how much you walk away with, right? Boom, got that first yes out of them. Do me a favor, grab a pen and paper for me. What are we doing for? I got to go here. Well, I want you to write down my number. Okay, so now they know they got to write down your name and number. So now I got them committed. Write down your name. All right, what's your number? So now we just said the property was worth around $250. $215 is taxes. $250 is probably market value. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Right. So write down $250,000. So it's exactly how I go through it. So if you weren't going to sell to me, if you sold it to somebody else, you sold it, let's say like Elijah, thanks but no thanks. I need all the $250,000 I could possibly get. All right, how much would you walk away with when it's all said and done? Because I think I'm going to be close to that number. So if you go ahead and write $250,000 down, now for $250,000, you have to pay 6% realtor commission. So underneath that, write down 6%. Underneath that, you have to pay 3.5% in closing costs. Sometimes they challenge you on that. So if they happen to challenge you on 3.5%, that's a lot of closing costs. Well, sometimes You might be able to get the buyer to pay for it. Sometimes you have to pay for it all. If you want top retail, you probably have to cover all the closing costs so that buyer buys your property. So that's 3.5% closing costs. And then you have 7% in your expense to sell retail. So this is some proprietary info, but for the fam, I'm giving it to the fam. I'm giving you guys all the sauce. All right, so that's 7%. And 7% is what most people don't calculate and budget for until it's too late as you're midway through the deal. So you just go ahead and let it go, and you just count the shekels when all the dust settles. You find out what you end up walking away with. So what's in that 7%? Well, you have to take into account, just because you and I say the house is worth $250,000. Well, I mean, the appraisal, your neighbor could sell the house for $240,000. Guess what that did for your appraisal? You just dropped your appraisal. So on average, you want to adjust about 2% for your appraisal adjustment, all right? Because just things happen. It's out of your and my control. I think your house worth $260,000, but that damn appraiser, he's gonna get us both, all right? Okay. So it's appraiser's fault why we have to adjust that 2% down. Then you gotta get a home inspection. You're doing retail, all right? So now you got a home inspector. They're gonna come in with a big old inch-thick binder, and their pure mission is to say what's wrong with the property, and either you're gonna fix it, or you're gonna give them a credit to make those repairs, or your appraiser is going to get dropped. So that damn appraiser's fault, and you have to make for appraisal correction. You're going to lose another 2% appraisal and inspection corrections. Okay, and then the worst. You deal with the retail buyer. They got to think about it. They got to pray about it. Talk to special advisor, light a candle, just to come back to renegotiate you if they didn't lie on the loan application. Have to start all over.
And hopefully they qualify.
Yeah, if they even qualify after everything. So on average, you lose another 2% of negotiating or restarting with a new buyer. And then what most people don't realize, because I know you own your property free and clear, you still have holding costs. You want to count on about 1% for your holding costs. You have taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs. I mean, these are things you have. You have water. You have your HOA fee. Even though you're free and clear, it's still a cost that's going out of your account. Because you fix up your property for a month, then you have to listen for a month or two. Then you get the buyer. Then they still got to get qualified for a month. That's going to be 3 to 6 months that you're going to still pay costs. You want to calculate that up front going into this versus wait until later on, like, whoa, why is my bank account less? So when you aggregate, use that word, when you aggregate those 4 factors together, on average, you lose 7%. Okay, and then underneath there, write down the repairs. We said what the upgrades were off about $25,000. And at the end of the day, I still got to make a profit, because if I buy it for $250,000, this is my same number. So I need to at least make a 10% profit on my money. That's just not, it makes no sense to me doing the deal. So let's calculate these numbers. So 6% on $250,000, all right, it's $12,000. $13,000 on your closing costs. The cost, your 7% the cost to sell might be another $19,000. $25,000 for upgrades. So for you to sell your property for $250,000, it's going to cost you $59,000. So the best case scenario you'll walk away with would be $190,000 if all the stars align and you do this on your own. And so obviously, if I buy from you, it's only worth $250,000 to me as well. I'm going to be at $190,000 if I buy from you at that number. So I need to be I have to have my profit built in. So let's go ahead for 10%. That's roughly about $19,000. So if I was able to step in here and pay cash, taking it as is condition, instead of you walking with $190,000 on a possibility, to have a peace of mind and have a guarantee that if I walk away and I'll pay $165,000 cash, would you be okay if I pay all the closing costs? Boom! I hit him on the back end.
Yes, get that yes.
Yeah, because a lot of times, I want you to pay the closing costs. But no, I didn't say yes to the price. But maybe I did say yes to the price, and I'm already yes. What goes in motion stays in motion. And so that's why I time into, like, would you be okay? I give my number. Would you be okay if I pay all the closing costs? And they're like, I don't know. Well, how does that price make you feel? When I ask how does that price make you feel? Do I ask if that price works for you? Because what are they going to say? Yes or no? How does it make you feel? Well, no. The price
makes me want to puke.
Well, really, what part? What part of it you want to puke? Is it too much cash to deal with? Is it the peace of mind? You're not used to having that things be that simple. So that's it. I am going to work on.
Is this good puke?
Is this good puke? Is that just something you ate earlier? But by you asking what they, how's that price feel? How does that make you feel? It allows them to have to talk about it versus say, no, that number will never work for me.
Right.
So that's lately a play-by-play, how I break the number down, how I get from that crazy number down to another number, and now we have real numbers. Because if you don't have those numbers for them, what's going to happen, even if they agree to you, Another person's calling them, and then the sister's calling them, or cousin's calling them. What did you do? You selling price for what? How much you selling it for? What? That makes no sense. Well, one second. You're not realizing this closing cost, commission, repairs. Now they have the numbers to sell somebody else. So if they try to talk them out of your number that they just agreed to you for.
So they're going to basically use your script on their family.
Yes. You can use script just because what people buy emotional, but they need to justify the decision logical. I'm getting an emotional connection to how life's going to look like. I'm getting the next chapter. I'm giving all the logical numbers to fight off all the haters.
How many times have you had a seller come back and try to back out of the deal? Because you've done a couple hundred of these at least. So.
Absolutely. I probably had back out of the deal, probably easy over 50 out of 700. So,
and do you fight that, or do you just say whatever?
Oh, yeah, we fight it because at the end of the day, I do have a contract. But it's within reason too. I'm not going to fight everybody. Some people have bigger money. Some people, all money's not good money. And sometimes I want the peace of mind. At the same time, if it's something, I'm always going to look for the win-win. All right, I'd rather get some money than no money, and you get more bees with honey than vinegar.
So maybe you're going to, or actually every time you're going to try to renegotiate at the very least.
Oh, I'm always going to try to renegotiate a number. I'm going to find what do they want. Like, for instance, I'll give you a good example what happened. I'm sure this happens to a lot of you guys out there too. Had an offer with the seller, Northwest Valley, offered her $240. You get the deal. She signs the contract. And very next day, offers her $40,000 more than my number, 40 grand more.
Ass iBuyers.
Golly, killing it all for everybody. And she's like, well, hey, it's more money. We're talking about $40,000. It's not like $5 grand. What can we do? And I'm like, oh, you did sign a contract with me, but let me talk to my money partners. Let me see what we're able to do. I want to be fair with you. I want to get my testimonial letter from you. And so let me see what I'm able to do to make a win-win for each other. Went back and forth. Told her to give me about a week. Make sure I got my buyer locked in. Once I got my buyer locked in, then I realized, hey, instead of me making 30 grand, let me just make 15,000. Went back to her and said, like, hey, I got good news, bad news. My guys, I don't want my guys suing me, and which I'm going to have to sue you, and that's what neither of us need.
No, take it off you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've already sold this contract, and he will sue me, and he will sue you. He's an asshole.
Exactly. Because the fast way to find a common friend is to find a common enemy. And this damn guy, if I'd known that would happen, I wouldn't. But his money's online, so my money's online, and the last thing you and I need is extra headaches. So that's why I got him to agree to this. I don't know how long I'm going to get him to agree to this, so I need to get your buy-in. So I'm able to get you 15,000 more. I know it's not 40 grand. Well, it's 15,000 more than what you initially thought for. I just want to know if I do that, I'm going to get my testimonial letter, because I don't want to do this if I'm not going to get my testimonial letter. They agreed to testimonial letter. They just agreed the numbers. That means that they're not going to try to fight it. They're not going to try to lawsuit it out. Say, hey, get more bees with honey than vinegar.
I love it. Let's roll into that. Customer service. Okay. You have people buying you dinner.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your customer service. What do you do? How do you go the extra mile? Because I know you do it quite a bit.
Yes. So like I said, I'll add value first. So I want to kind of know what type of person I'm dealing with. What is the real pain? What resources? What relationship? What books? What podcasts? What links? What events can I send them to? So I'm adding value first. Lady had like for instance, good example. I'm talking with the seller. He has my offer. He owns a free and clear. His mama has a property in her name. She's going to deed it to him. Dad passed away. She took out a small loan, but now she's not working, so the property's about to end in foreclosure. I give him a number. He's like, no, I'm not taking that. We only owe like $12,000. I'm not taking that low number. I'm like, you're right. You probably shouldn't. You're right. You probably shouldn't give away this property. And so he's like, what? He's like, so what do you think I should do? So I told him I solved this problem. I'm like, what we need to do, we need to bring in a probate attorney, because you don't realize the property's not in your name yet. And by the time you try to do something, your father's interest is still 50% interest with your mom. And so we need to probate your father's interest out of the estate. We need to go ahead and get you a loan. We just need to refinance it, pay off that loan, refinance it, take the cash you're going to get, pay off your debt, get you with the credit repair company to repair your credit. And then in 6 months later, you're going to be able to refinance it with my lender. You'll be able to refinance that property, lower the high interest rate. You have cash in your account. You're going to take the cash and get you up front. You're going to pay off a year worth of mortgage payments for yourself. And so what I was able to do, because I walked through this whole plan of, I'm going to set you up. I got the probate attorney who's going to handle the probate, get the title handle. I got a hard money lender who's going to come in and loan the money to you so that you have cash to pay off the other loan so you don't worry about foreclosure. You're going to take the cash that you got from the loan, you can pay off a year of that hard money cost, and you're going to pay off the other debt so your credit is better because you're going to work with a credit counselor. And because you have the loan paid off for a year, you're not going to be stressing out how I'm going to make the payment, removed all that place. And within that year, once your credit's in place with my loan officer, she's going to let you know when your credit's ready and you can refinance it. You pay off that mortgage, and now your life is better. You keep the house. Whenever you decide to sell it, you don't sell it, you rent it. You're like, whoa, I can't believe you laid out all this for you. I'm like, well, so what I got to pay you? I'm like, you're going to pay me $10,000 out of your refinance, which once I set the refinance, I only get paid once I deliver all these pieces for you.
That's huge.
So I ended up making $10,000 without even buying the property. But one of my best things I do, I let them know, assuming I go through everything, I explain everything to you, I walk you through each piece, I hold your hand so you're not trying to figure out any piece of this. I walk you through the whole process. You're happy, money's wired into your account, everything's done. 30 days after you received all your cash, so one thing I'm going to ask for in return is that I can receive a recommendation testimonial letter from you saying that you was pleased with the results I provided you and that you'll refer me to somebody for the future. Is that something you could do for me? And see, that head goes, and then they go with it. Even on the phone. I mean, on the phone, I'm like this. That's something you can do for me. And when they say yes, they can give you that testimonial letter. They just mentally pseudo said, yes, I'm going to do the deal with you. And so that locks them in. Then if we start having a dispute about closing costs, we have a dispute about offer, we got a dispute about any other aspect, I'm able to always circle back around like, hey, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my testimonial letter. So let's get a number that works for both of us. So that's a little pseudo way. And then if we go back and forth over closing costs, we go back and forth and I work with them. I'm like, all right, I'll agree to cover this closing cost. I'll agree to go up on price, but there's one thing I need you to do for me then. Assume I agree to everything. Once we close escrow, when I get my recommendation letter, dinner on you. You owe me a dinner credit for me jumping, paying a higher dollar, jumping through the XYZ hoop. You had to take me and my acquisition manager or my operation director to dinner credit on you, and so we can meet over. I can get my testimonial letter over dinner, and they start laughing. They're like, "You got some balls! Oh my goodness!" But I like it. Yeah, let's do it. You got some chutzpah. You got some chutzpah. Because if they agree to that, if they agree to say yes to you on that, you only do dinner with people you like. All right? I'm not going to sit through a whole dinner with somebody like, I'll send you a gift card. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to do dinner with you. And so that means they already kind of like you and they anticipate to get a testimonial. That means they already mentally detached themselves from the property and they already went through the possibility of this working out perfect with you.
So now, guys, you're a distressed seller. He just went through this whole thing, and by the way, how to make 10,000 out of a no. That's the name of that course.
I know, that's the next one, right?
Right. So he completely solved my problems. He didn't try to take advantage of me. He helped me out. When I have my buddies call, he's got my ear like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm in foreclosure. I need help. I don't know what to do. Who's he going to call? He's going to call Elijah every single time because he's now the trusted advisor.
Yep.
So that 10,000 may turn into hundreds of thousands.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I do it. And when they get the testimonial letter, it's experience. And then when they see it on the wall and they see that, and people call me and send me referrals year after year. And think about 15 years of compounded referrals that just come to me out of the unknown, of both from expected and unexpected sources.
Yeah, I love it. Here, let's prove it.
Let's see it. Yep. See, there's the wall. There's the wall.
Those letters all the way up and down. And I'm sure you have many more.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I just got to put them up there, but I don't want to overkill. Have the whole room full with letters.
All right. So anything else that we missed on the sales and that kind of the way you run your wholesale business? Anything else that you want to talk about?
Just another thing is you can get my by in that 59224. They're texting that. Hopefully it came in for you. Did they come in?
Let's see. No.
Dang, you gotta talk to Jenny. We gotta talk to Jenny about this.
Someone's about to get fired.
Yeah, Jennifer. So you're able to get my Master the Art of the No. It's my ebook I created just to be able to give back, just teach you a couple more techniques of how to overcome the no. Some simple, subtle ways. Are just if they say no, you have to have more ways to override that no. then they're able to tell you yes. Why would they would tell you no?
You read this one?
Absolutely, that's the truth.
That's right up your alley. So this is our book of the month. This is what we're going to be working on starting Thursday. So guys, get in the book club. You know, this is the kind of stuff, and this is the kind of stuff that I suck at. You're obviously with lots of practice, you've gotten good, but you're more of a natural speaker. Like you were, you know, you would promote clubs and all that, you know, coming up. So you've always been able to talk. I've always been more of an introvert. So, you know, I had to do the Toastmasters. I had to do, you know, all the practicing. And I tell you what you said with the practicing with the people that you have in your life, it's huge. Get that out of your shell. No, I don't think I've ever told anybody this story. So
Sure.
I was trying to get used to door knocking as a realtor, not even as an investor, right?
Oh man, he's going back on y'all.
Right? Yeah, this was several years ago. So I left my house, came back, door knocked my wife, and I was shaking because I was so nervous. Like I was door knocking my wife.
I dared you. I already closed you.
It's ridiculous. So, you know, every disaster, every master is once a disaster, right? So
Absolutely.
if you suck at it, just practice over and over and over and over and over, and then listen to his calls as well. I mean, God, you got probably well over 100 episodes, right?
I did 100 episodes Facebook Live.
Live. This is how it is. And he has his style, so you don't have to do it just like he does it, but you can definitely take some of the techniques and the scripts and all that. So awesome. I love the sales stuff. Let's talk about entrepreneurship for a little bit.
Okay.
I value your time. I know we're already at an hour, but if we could take a little bit more time.
Absolutely, you got it.
Because a lot of my people are small business owners. They are one-man bands.
Okay.
They don't have their systems. We also taught traction.
Good. Okay.
Right? So they have kind of the framework. What kind of tips, advice can you give on growing? Really, this is a sales business, right? So what are some tips you can give?
So first thing I would highly recommend is, like I said, we kind of talked about it midway here, is kind of get real close to where your vision is. Because like I said, people without vision will perish. All right, because if you're not sure where you go and how you know you got there. All right, so being very clear, like how I'm a one man band. Where do I want to go? Do I always want to say one man band? And if I don't want to keep doing everything myself, who would I need? And if I did need those people, what type of activities do I need to know that they're doing, and how am I going to measure those activities? And traction gives you a lot of those things, but being clear of, hey, what I want, what type of lifestyle do I want, and can my business provide that lifestyle? If my business can't provide that lifestyle, either your dream has to change or your hustle has to change. You just can't keep both. So I think that's the very first part to get really clear with. Most people don't take enough time. Hey, I'm good at this. I'm just going to keep doing this until things work out well. You're not going to know if things worked out if you don't set that benchmark where I want things to go.
And people have assumptions. Like I always thought I had to have this big team. Well, I built a big team, and I'm like, well, this sucks. So you guys, most of you are in the real estate business. So we have a very unique ability to have a multi-million-dollar business with just a handful of people.
Absolutely.
But you do have to have a handful of people.
Right. You're right.
So where do you think, what's the first hire? What's a first hire? If someone's out there wholesaling, doing it themselves, who should they hire first?
I believe you need to get some admin support. You got to take things off your table first. You got to create capacity, right?
You're 80%, right?
Yeah.
You got to find out what your 80% is.
Find out what that 80% is. Find out what you're really good at doing. We call it, CJ, ET's business partner, calls it making the juice. All right, so you're making the juice. So what happens is you're doing everything. You get a deal, and then you do the processing, and you do the marketing, and you're doing everything. So you're stopping making the juice. You're doing all the back end stuff. And then you have to go back and make the juice again, just to get a cup, just to drink it. So versus, hey, right now you have to start doing it all, right, yourself. But you start thinking about, who can I delegate this to? What can I get off my table that will move the needle but doesn't require me to do it? There's certain things that you have to do. Right. Like there's certainly, like you have a God-given gift, you need to do those things. Outside of those 20% God-given things, find out what can I start taking off my table. Even if you don't have anybody right now, write it out as if you were to have somebody. Start talking to VA and get one VA $5 an hour just to get used to delegating. Just used to delegating. And I would highly recommend a good technique that allows most entrepreneurs to get more mindful of where they're going. And you want to do this before you even start hiring anybody. Get used to the habit of prioritizing your day. I have an A through E technique that really helped me really go from just being a solopreneur to really being a real entrepreneur. Okay, it's called ABC, A to E technique. So you write out everything in your to-do list. You have your deals, you have your marketing, your processing, everything you have to do. Write that whole list. Then you write down A, B, C, D, E. All right, A, B, C, D, E. And then you're going to go through all your to-do items, and you're going to put A, B, C, D, E next to them. So A, I think that always need to be done. B, that better get done. C, that could get done. D, that should be delegated. E, should be eliminated. And so by you taking time to sit back, even though you're just a solopreneur, saying, okay, what's most important to me? Get all those A items, B items, C items. Now you just start thinking, what can I delegate? What can I get off my table? Who can I, even if I don't have anybody to delegate to, this is the first thing I'm going to get off my table as soon as I can hire somebody. Now you're taking time to think through those. Then what can I eliminate? Why am I even doing this? This shouldn't be here. I'm more valuable than this. This is a waste of time. I'm not doing this anymore. By you doing that A, you're going to take yourself more seriously, and you're going to start respecting your time more, because nobody's going to respect your time more than you. And if you don't respect your time, how are you going to expect somebody else to? And by you doing this, when you bring on a team member, when you bring that first new hire, the admin person, the operations person, they're going to respect you more time because they see that you're taking a little time to strategize on what I want to get done for the day. That's something I absolutely recommend. Before you start, you're hiring that admin person, the operations person, to make sure you use that A through E technique.
A through E, I love that. And I would say so many entrepreneurs are doing the D's and the E's.
Oh,
because it's busy work.
Yeah,
I was busy all day long.
Yeah, what did Jim Rose say? What did Jim Rose say? Jim Rohn, people major minor things.
Oh, they do. Instead of doing those A's, B's, C's, they're doing the C's, D's, and E's, and just so they can feel productive. Why? Because it's easy. Realtors are horrible with this, because once you've got that contract signed, your job is over. You're not going to make more money by doing a great job on closing, right? So that needs to just go away. You make the sale. You don't need to babysit that file.
Right.
You need to go find another
next one
seller. And so many of us, we major in minor things. Jim Rohn's the best. Yeah. So what's next? What else you got for entrepreneurs?
So all right. So now you put that out there in position. I think another thing, especially starting out, I call it the 5-foot rule. The 5-foot rule. Especially starting out, until you get your budget up where you can be bigger social media, you can build a bigger brand, whatnot. 5-foot rule. Anyone who comes within 5 feet of you, they should know exactly what you do, how you're able to help them, more importantly, what's in it for them to refer somebody to you. That's all they're tuned into. That's all the antenna is up for, right? Shout out to Jeff. But that's really, it's that's the easiest way to start getting referrals right off the bat. Hey, I'm Elijah. I specialize in fire damage properties. All at the same time, I buy all types of properties. Help yourself by helping somebody you know. I pay a $5,000 to $500 consulting fee if you know somebody who's experiencing XYZ. Once again, help yourself by helping somebody you know by referring them to me. That's something you could do for me. Great. What's the phone number? I can reach out with you. I like to follow with all my people on Fridays. Okay, if I follow up with you on Friday, great. Now, I just took the initiative on somebody I didn't know at Starbucks, at Circle K, at Barnes & Noble, at the grocery store to create an opportunity that was going to be there beforehand. I probably make $50,000 a year just by me proactively offering my referral out to other people.
And that's the compound effect at work. A little every day, it grows on itself. And then that guy you met at Starbucks 5 years ago that you happen to stay in contact with, now he's got a deal. Now he's got this. So huge.
At Dunbar 150, right? Saying in your mind, and if you say it on top of these people, you reach out to people. You set a drip marketing once a month, once a quarter. Just let them know, hey, I just want to circle back around to you. With technology, you don't have to do it, but you can still have that personal feel. That's something you want to be able to do. And that's something, really big on controlling the controllables. Control the things you have control over. If you don't have control over it, don't stress over it. Things that you have no control over, why give extra time and mental capacity for it, That's another thing, because, the market's shifting. These guys doing better. That deal fell apart. Well, can you do anything about that? No? What can you focus on? What can you control over? That's all should be getting your energy.
What do you think about mental health of an entrepreneur? It can be very lonely. It can be very depressing. What do you do to keep such a positive mental attitude? How about I know you have some routines that you're big with. What are those? Yeah,
and I think this is I'm glad you brought that up, because I think this is a very under discussed topic, specifically in the entrepreneur space, because and we both had a friend that passed away who was a very successful multimillionaire and took his life, and none of us saw it coming, and so I think that's a whole part of this is that with your entrepreneur, you almost got like double the shame, right? So if you're not doing well, your family members told you you should go to a school like your brother, and you think you're better than everybody else. You want to be an entrepreneur. Well, so because of that, you don't want to talk to anybody when things are going bad or going wrong, or your revenue's not right, or you're failing, and so you bottle that up inside. So you have the shame of not being good, or you're not hitting the numbers like you thought you were, and you have the double shame that you can't talk to anybody about it because you don't want to look like a loser or like, oh, I told you weren't going to be successful. So what ends up happening, you bottle that up inside, and you end up confusing your role. Your role might be a salesperson, a real estate person, with that being your identity. And then now I identify as a failure, identify as a loser, identify myself as unaccomplished, and then that compounded effect of every day, the deal falls through, marketing doesn't go out, I stay in bed, I start reinforcing these negative self-thoughts, and then you know what, I end up doing something to myself. So what I've decided to do, and what I'm really big on, I'm just grateful to have some quality relationships in my life that help me create the right success habits. So I'm really big on creating the right success habits and put yourself in a position where you're doing the mental work before you need it. All right. So what we end up doing is we call it the guaranteed threes. These are 3 things you do in the morning before your day starts. You're putting yourself in where you're able to take command of your day by controlling what you're doing first thing in the morning. All right. So like I'm really big on doing affirmations because you're able to speak who you want to be into yourself. You're putting out the vibration and energy out there. So there's a set of affirmations I like to say. If you hit the 59224 number works, you get those affirmations too for you. But you say these affirmations, put on some hip hop instrumentals or whatever music you want, just doesn't have any words, to cue yourself. You want to prime yourself like, all right, I'm taking control of my day right now. And so you got the music going on, you say these affirmations. At first they're gonna sound like words to you. Until you start embodying them, until you start feeling them, and then once you attach that emotion to it, watch how laws of attraction start coming for you. And then once that happens, then you want to do, I like to say the 5 things I'm grateful for, because starting your day with gratitude, it allows you to receive more, because things you're grateful for is the ultimate form of receiving. You're only grateful for something that you get, right? So being grateful allows you to expand your container for more things that attract to you. So 5 things you're grateful for. I like to do, like I said, my affirmation. Another good thing to do a thoughtful, a thankful gesture for somebody you do or you don't know. Send out a text message saying, hey, to our past relationship, client, friend, family member, ex, doesn't matter who it is, send them, let them know, hey, I'm grateful for you, I'm thankful for you, I'm glad that we crossed paths. Doing something selfless to start your day is going to allow you to not only dominate the day, but it's allow you to start your day from a right position that you're so appreciative from other people, and you have abundance coming into your life. Even if you have $0 to your name, you're operating from abundance mentality that I can bless somebody else, even though I can't physically see my blessing. And by you doing that, who knows that person received the text? They might be on the edge. They might need that text message saying, hey, I'm valuable. Somebody out here thinks about me. And by you doing that for them, watch how it makes you feel. And that's one of the fastest ways I feel you can fight mental health.
I love it. I've done this morning routine with Elijah. Because of you, I've been doing the affirmations for several years now. Nice. It is, like you said, it's a feeling, and I love that you do the beats behind it. I love doing that as well, because now you're feeling something, you're saying it out loud, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, and then the sending somebody that message. I've received that message from you. I've sent those messages with you, and it's great in both both sides of it. So it's so hard to have a bad day when you start your day that way.
It is, and you're in full control. And what happens a lot of times, we feel like the world happens to me. You have to understand life happens because of you. And so once you understand that because it's going to happen because of me, what can I do to positive impact to start my day?
So now you have a young woman in your life.
Yes.
How old is that, your little girl?
So she's 8 years old, turning on 42.
Right. So you have an 8-year-old, and it's even more important to be helping our kids
Yes.
What do you do with her? What does she do?
So what we try to do when she's driving to school, we like to do her grateful list. What things she's grateful for. We're grateful for roadblocks, grateful for Lucy, grateful for Minecraft, grateful for Nana. But these are things on her level, what she's grateful for. But we tell her, what are you grateful for and why? So she has to explain why it is. And then we do her affirmations while we're driving. I'm a smart kid. I'm a great student. I'm a great leader. I live life by the golden rule. I make other people feel good about themselves. These are certain things. And some of it, she doesn't understand why she's saying it. Other she's starting to embody it. And if you look at where she was at like 3 years ago, she's almost failing kindergarten. And now we got her tutor support, but we really worked on her mindset mastery. Now she's wanting to lead people in her classes, and we have her in a very hard school right now. And this is a little work, like you said. If you teach them this habits now, it's going to carry with them for the rest of their life.
Keep the positivity in their lives. Like she's hearing every single day out of her own mouth and out of your mouth and Jen's mouth. She's a great person. She's smart. She's worthy. And so when they go and they hear this shit at school, it kind of is not going to resonate as much.
Right.
Because, I'm not stupid. I'm smart. What are you talking about?
Did you hear my affirmation earlier today?
Yeah,
my mom doesn't say that about me. That's your problem. That's your problem.
So I really appreciate that you do that with her. I try to do that with my boys as much as possible. And
you take them to Hawaii to fill Hawaii water, right? So you're helping them out a little bit, all right? You know what I'm saying? You help bring those visions to life. I like it.
Well, because that's my thing. Travel is prejudice to bigotry, right? So
yep.
I truly believe that. I not even want them to see just the beautiful parts of the world. I want them to see the beautiful people in this world and different cultures and languages, and just know that, hey, this little part of your world is just a tiny part. There's so much out there. So that's our whys, right? That's what we want for our kids.
100%. That's powerful, man.
All right, man. What did I not ask you? What do we need to wrap with?
So we got a lot of things good in place. Like I said, when I get the fire damage course out, I'm really excited to finally get my first product. I'm going to be hosting Momentum next week for the All In guys. I'm going to be speaking in Vegas at the Tony the Closer event at the 100K Club. You go to 100K Club, 100KClub2019.com, and then I'm going to be speaking and hosting the Accelerator 2.0 in Hollywood at the beginning in January. So all these are property, and it's not. I'm not marketing myself as a speaker right at the moment. It's all coming from allows to come from both expected and unexpected sources. So
well, you should, because you have an outstanding message. More people need to hear it, and you're a good dude, and I really appreciate you being a friend.
Well, appreciate you giving an opportunity to share with the family. I appreciate you constantly being a constant anchor in my life. You just remind me what happens. You're a constant reminder of what happens when you choose to make the right decision. Because I remember we were talking about lifestyle. I remember we talked about how we want life to be, what you're going to make decisions. You made some hard decisions. You let go of some other people. You have ridiculous overhead, and you didn't let any of that crumble you. And now look at your life now. So salute to you. Make sure you guys understand the true value of this young king, what he's doing for the family over here, what the good he's putting out there for you guys.
All right, man. Appreciate
family,
it.
Appreciate you.
All right,
y'all.
We out.
Salute.